The date is September 24th, 1993. Butterfly clips, oversized flannel, and family values collide as the first episode of Boy Meets World airs on TV. Boy Meets World follows Corey Matthews, his girlfriend Topanga, his best friend Sean, and his mentor and teacher Mr. Feeney throughout the 90s. This show begins when Corey, played by Ben Savage, is 11 years old and covers his life up until the character is roughly 20. Due to the rousing success of Boy Meets World, a spin-off series featuring Corey's daughter Riley and her best friend Maya was released on June 27, 2014. This series was called Girl Meets World, and while it had many similarities to Boy Meets World, failed to achieve the same success or devotion from audiences.
I've been waiting for a day like this to come struck like lightning.
The Boy Meets World adaptation, Girl Meets World, was unsuccessful because producers ignored two key aspects of the original format's strategy: involvement of actors in creating the characters, and more grounded and genuine episode themes. It's important to note that both of these aspects were aided by Boy Meets World's longer runtime, which was admittedly out of the creator's control. To begin, it is important to acknowledge that the success of Boy Meets World is cyclical in its nature. Airing for 7 seasons, 4 more than Girl Meets World, Boy Meets World had more time to develop characters and episode themes that audiences resonated with. By being renewed season after season, it was able to develop into a richer show, which in turn led to more renewals. Having acknowledged that the runtime of each show was not a choice made by the producers, it can still be argued that runtime impacts audiences' attitude towards each show. For example, the characters of Boy Meets World are more familiar to the audience. After all, they've seen Ben Savage, Daniel Fisher, and Ryder Strong grow up as much as they have Corey, Topanga, and Sean. Boy Meets World ends with Corey as an adult, making his own choices to step into the next phase of his life. This is a compelling ending to the series because it shows how far the character has come over the course of the show.
The tragedy here, Mr. Matthews, is not about a dumb girl or the boy who kills himself because of her. It's about the all-consuming power of love and the inevitability of its influence on each of our lives.
Are you aware that I'm only 11 years old?
You coming with us, Mr. Feeney?
While Girl Meets World ends with a potential life change when her family almost moves to Paris, Riley is still a teenager and subject to her parents' choices.
We're gonna make the right decision.
What? There's a decision?
Yeah. Girls, I'm sorry, but there's a decision.
Girl Meets World has an unfinished feeling to it when compared with Boy Meets World, since Riley is not in control of her own story by the end of it in the way that Corey is. Christina Dolge analyzes the challenges that arise when a successful television format is altered during the adaptation process. She highlights that changes to pacing, episode structure, and length can weaken the original storytelling strengths that connected audiences to the first version. Girl Meets World struggled due to its shorter runtime and faster story flow, which limited opportunities for emotional growth and meaningful character development. Speaking of characters, one of the aspects that made Boy Meets World more successful than Girl Meets World was the actors' ability to grow with their characters instead of stepping into a fully fleshed out character. Jason Middle asserts that while spin-offs are an important part of American television history, contemporary television is marked by the rise of prestige drama, a mode of storytelling hailed as culturally legitimate and artistically groundbreaking that seems to refute the imitative logic of spin-offs. In the case of characters, Girl Meets World is definitely imitative. It copies the format of Corey and his best friend Sean in Riley and Maya. Corey and Riley are the goody two-shoes, and Sean and Maya are the troublemakers. What was innovative and dynamic in Boy Meets World is boring and stagnant in Girl Meets World. While the Girl Meets World characters do change, these changes are written into the script, and the actors often did not resonate with the exaggerated personalities of their character.
Hey, I don't think we should do this as Riley and Maya. I think we should do this as us.
Okay.
We met through the audition process for this.
We can see from this clip during one of the last Girl Meets World episodes how different the characters of Riley and Maya are from the actresses Rowan Roth and Sabrina Carpenter. The girls are much more grounded and clearly separate themselves from their characters. Cynthia Barron talks about the desire for realistic acting and where it began, saying modern acting developed in response to the demands and opportunities created by the wave of lifelike domestic dramas that transformed Euro-American theater at the turn of the 20th century. The drama's intense underlying subtext required exhaustive script study, and to create the minute changes in expression that conveyed the characters' unspoken thoughts or implicit meaning, actors had to do a close study themselves. This desire for more complex acting is satisfied within Boy Meets World because the show allowed actors time and autonomy to develop their own characters, with actors like Will Friedle's humor becoming a staple of Eric's personality. Will Friedle, participating in a fan panel, said, "When you start a show, they write a character and the actor plays the character. As they get to know you better, they start to just write for you." Explaining the transformation in his character Eric from a lovesick teenage boy to the iconic, hilarious character with a heart of gold that Will felt more resembled his own personality. While both shows break the fourth wall in certain episodes, the Boy Meets World cast more clearly resonates with their characters.
Right? The older, good-looking, not the sharpest knife in the drawer, long-lost brother with a heart of gold. Do you think you can play that?
Can do. You don't mean real gold, right?
Just like that. Okay, we ready to roll? As they say here in Hollywood, and action.
Ouchie McOuchie, little bro. If I can't have my lucky tube socks, I shall never pass the astronaut test.
The change between their personality in interviews and acting, even as acting as themselves, are subtle. This is because the actors grew into their characters instead of stepping into them, and therefore were able to give more realistic performances throughout the show. Ryder Strong, the actor that plays Sean, described the episode saying, "It's so, mind-breaking, like you're watching the show. Yeah, wait, we're in the same sets and we're playing the same actors, it's just strange. It's meta and strange in a way that, because I don't know, I guess it kind of works." Since Girl Meets World was picked up by Disney, the show was far more restricted in terms of content compared to Boy Meets World, which aired on HBO. The change in content could be explained by the theory of corporate authorship, where work is understood to be produced by a brand or company and carries that company's style, tone, and technique. Many of Girl Meets World's jokes rely on puns and feel overly rehearsed, clearly aimed at children rather than the whole family, something Boy Meets World managed to balance effectively. Boy Meets World offered greater comedic range, incorporating sharper wit and more complex themes. Tessa Schwartz and Thomas Killian write about how Girl Meets World changed its target demographic to a much younger Disney Channel audience, rather than the viewers who had grown up with Boy Meets World. This helps support the idea that a shift in intended audience can create a disconnect that harms a spin-off's reception and overall performance. Actor performances also play a key role in this difference. The Disney personas of the Girl Meets World cast exaggerate their characters to the point of caricature, while Boy Meets World featured a more natural and grounded acting. It's not that Girl Meets World episode themes lacked depth, but the series often treats the serious moments with such intensity that viewers end up laughing at the characters instead of with them. For example, in this clip, the character of Maya famously overreacts to their friend being tested for Asperger's.
I could have told him that.
They want to see if I have autism. You don't.
Let's go tell them you don't.
I might have a type of autism called Asperger's syndrome.
You don't.
Reaction is not only over the top, but potentially judgmental of those with Asperger's. On the other hand, Boy Meets World tackles sensitive issues with grace. When Corey and Sean are in high school, they examine sexism in the episode Chick Like Me.
Oh, maybe you're just tense. Now, how about I rub your shoulders?
I didn't ask you to do that.
Yeah, but doesn't it feel good?
You're not listening to me.
Whoa, you're a strong one.
Yeah, I play a little field hockey.
Yeah, I knew that. Because the first thing I noticed were your legs.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
You just don't listen. You're too busy planning your next move to hear us say no.
What?
As they grow older, topics discussed mature as well. HBO understood that their audience was aging and adapted for that, presenting the characters with new situations to handle in college. The most potent example of this is when a professor attempts to flirt with Topanga in her dorm room.
A teacher must be someone a student can trust. The second the teacher uses pressure on a student for any reason whatsoever other than academic, that trust is destroyed.
Well, there must be some sort of misunderstanding because as a teacher,
Stuart.
The clip concludes with the discussion of how the world is imperfect, and these issues will not just go away. Instead, the characters learn to speak up for themselves and others to support each other in a flawed world. The world of Girl Meets World is not so realistic. One of the most serious moments in the show occurs when Lucas, a friend of Riley and Maya's, falls in a
Lucas, are you okay? Lucas, get up!
I stayed on for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know you could.
Look, you did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is an official time.
The running theme in Girl Meets World. The episode always has a happy ending. Comparatively, Boy Meets World mixes the good with the bad, the serious with the funny, and with the aid of grounded characters, is able to discuss grounded themes that more closely resemble real life. Jonathan Gray explains that fans bring assumptions and emotional investment into new installments of a franchise, which impact how they judge any changes in story direction. This is helpful for explaining why viewers of Girl Meets World expected character-driven storytelling and grounded themes similar to Boy Meets World. When the revival adopted a lighter approach, many viewers felt disconnected, which supports the connection between brand history and audience expectation. Girl Meets World is an admirable attempt at a spin-off series. It includes well-loved characters from the original series Boy Meets World, but largely rides the original show's popularity and lacks the grounded acting and episode themes that make it successful. This doesn't make Girl Meets World a bad show, but it doesn't achieve the same loyalty and audience as Boy Meets World did. Regardless of our critiques, though, Girl Meets World or Boy Meets World, fans have loved watching the Matthews family meet the world for decades.
Boy Meets World. Now I get it.
Girl Meets World. Now I get it.